What if the biggest names in music didn't rise to the top? They were chosen. Behind the red carpets and platinum plaques lies a world darker than anyone imagined. And now, one woman is pulling back the curtain. Jaguar Wright, the bold industry insider who's made a mission out of naming names, has set her sights on Beyonce. But this time, it's not just rumors or hearsay. She says she has victims ready to come forward. And if she's right, this could shake the foundations of the music industry. Let's dive into the power struggle that might change everything. Jaguar Wright's explosive claims. Jaguar Wright isn't new to controversy. She's gone after Diddy, Jay-Z, and even Clive Davis. But her latest claims, shared on Piers Morgan's show, might be her boldest yet. Jaguar said she's working with 3 victims linked to the Carters. She claims the world has ignored this story for too long. But now that Diddy's empire is under fire, the timing couldn't be more explosive. Wright hinted that Beyonce has taken extreme steps to keep these accusations quiet. According to her, Beyonce isn't just worried, she's issuing warnings. And everyone behind the scenes knows who she was talking about. The victims Jaguar mentioned, their stories haven't been released in full, but she says their experiences will send shockwaves through the public. They allegedly paint a picture of coercion, cover-ups, and trauma, all in the name of preserving a musical dynasty. These victims, Wright says, are scared. They've seen what happens to people who speak out. But now, with Diddy under fire, they may finally have the protection and platform they need. And this isn't just about the Carters anymore. Jaguar believes these victims may be the first of many. If they speak out, it could trigger a domino effect across the entire music world. A flood of confessions, lawsuits, and investigations could soon follow, shattering the illusion of glamour the public has long associated with these stars. Beyonce's silent response. Beyonce has never been one to clap back on social media, but her silence is speaking volumes. In recent weeks, fans have noticed her social media following mysteriously dropping. Hundreds of thousands of followers gone. Meanwhile, she posts glamorous pictures from Paris as if nothing is wrong. But is this really just an algorithm glitch or a carefully calculated distraction? Some say her silence is legal advice. Others think she doesn't want to draw attention. But there's one chilling detail. A woman once claimed Beyonce whispered to her in a club, "Don't start something you can't finish." That post? Wiped from the internet. The timing? Unsettling. According to insiders, Beyonce has activated her legal team in private, preparing to neutralize any threat to her reputation. And yet, the very act of staying silent is sparking more speculation. Some fans argue that silence is guilt, while others defend her as being above petty drama. Either way, the internet is watching and speculation is running wild. This isn't the first time Beyonce has avoided the media storm. Over the years, she's cultivated a mysterious, almost mythical persona. She rarely gives interviews. Her captions are vague. Her public appearances are tightly controlled. But could that mystique now be working against her? In a world that craves transparency, is Beyonce's silence starting to look like concealment? The bigger question becomes, what is she hiding? Is it fear of legal repercussions? Or is there something darker she's afraid might surface if she acknowledges these claims publicly? For someone who built an empire on flawless execution and impeccable image control, this kind of silence is deafening. Witchcraft, sacrifices, and rituals. Back in 2018, Beyonce's former drummer Kimberly Thompson filed a restraining order. Her claims? Extreme witchcraft, career sabotage, even feline murder. The media laughed it off, but Jaguar Wright is bringing that story back. According to Wright, Beyonce's rise wasn't just talent and timing. She suggests Beyonce's father, Matthew Knowles, was deeply involved in spiritual deals that helped skyrocket her success. Sacrifices, manipulation, secret rituals, the kind of stories whispered in backrooms but never said aloud. Until now. And here's what makes it weirder. The court dismissed Thompson's case but never addressed the claims. She was simply told to work somewhere else. Now, years later, she struggles to get gigs. There's also online chatter about spiritual symbols appearing in Beyonce's performances, ritualistic imagery, mysterious hand gestures, and coded lyrics. Are they just artistic choices, or do they hint at something deeper? Fans have spent years decoding her music videos and live shows, pointing to pyramid shapes, all-seeing eyes, and cryptic references. Could there really be an occult undertone, or is it just part of her mystique? What makes this more disturbing is how often these themes appear across performances. From her Super Bowl halftime show to her Formation World Tour, Beyonce has been accused of embracing occult symbolism, wearing black robes, horns, and invoking goddesses and ancestral spirits. Is she simply drawing on ancient culture for creative inspiration, or is there a more sinister reason these patterns appear again and again? And Jaguar doesn't stop there. She claims these rituals weren't just for show, they were part of secret agreements, power pacts to ensure dominance and success at any cost. If true, it suggests an entirely different side to the glamorous image Queen Bey has carefully crafted. The power triangle? Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyonce Jaguar claims there's a power web at the top of the music world, and at its center are Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. The theory? Diddy didn't just help Beyonce's career, he introduced her to Jay-Z in what Jaguar suggests was a business transaction. Deals were made, control was exchanged, and Beyonce's path to superstardom allegedly mapped out behind closed doors. With Diddy now facing allegations of trafficking, racketeering, and more, people are questioning just how far this web goes. Some even speculate that Diddy's empire functioned like a gatekeeping mechanism. If you wanted to rise, you had to play the game. If you didn't, your career could be destroyed before it started. Others point out the eerie number of young artists who once worked under Diddy or Jay-Z and later vanished from the spotlight under suspicious circumstances. Careers cut short. Rumors of blackballing. Some have started asking, what exactly are the rules of this game, and who enforces them? If Diddy goes down, who gets pulled down with him? Could Beyonce and Jay-Z be next? Jay-Z's pattern of power moves. Jaguar Wright says Jay-Z has a history of discarding those who help him rise. She points to DeHaven, Jay-Z's childhood friend who was later iced out. Then there's Big L, a rapper who died before reaching stardom. Some say Jay absorbed his style. And then there's Dame Dash, his former business partner turned rival. According to Wright, Jay-Z used Diddy's influence to boost his empire. And now, he's staying eerily quiet while Diddy's empire crumbles. The story is the same, she says. Align with power, extract what you need, and then disappear. And Beyonce, she may be part of that playbook too. Jaguar even claims that Jay-Z is now using his influence to distance himself from the chaos, possibly even aiding in Diddy's downfall. It's a ruthless strategy, but one that's worked for him so far. Jay-Z's clean public image has been his armor. He's reinvented himself from street hustler to business mogul, earning respect even in elite financial circles. But that transformation didn't come without sacrifice or strategy. Jaguar insists that behind every success story in Jay-Z's life lies someone who was cut off, used, or erased. Is this just how power works at the top? Or is Jay-Z orchestrating a far more calculated game than anyone thought? Rihanna. The clip that resurfaced. Rihanna once described meeting Jay-Z at 16. She said she was nervous, shaking even. But the moment that struck people, Jay allegedly said, "There are two ways to leave here, through the door or out the window." Some laughed, but it didn't sound like a joke. Her father wasn't there. She was alone, far from home, signing a career-making deal. Since then, Rihanna has seemingly distanced herself from Rock Nation. Coincidence? Or a quiet break from a powerful influence? And today, Rihanna is one of the few megastars who seems untouched by scandal. Some think that's because she walked away from the system early, before it could pull her in too deep. What if that meeting with Jay-Z wasn't just awkward, but a glimpse into how pressure and power work behind the scenes? What if Rihanna's empire today is not just talent, but the result of her refusal to become just another piece in someone else's game? In many ways, her path might be a counter-narrative to Beyonce's, a woman who broke away rather than bought in. Nemo, Sean Paul, and The Baby Boy Mystery. In 2003, Baby Boy was a massive hit. The track dominated the charts, spent weeks at #1, and became one of the defining songs of that year. But fans noticed something odd. Beyonce and Sean Paul almost never performed it live together. Despite the song's massive success, the two artists seemed to avoid being seen in the same space. Interviews were done separately, stage appearances were mysteriously canceled, and even when they were in the same city, they weren't seen side by side. Rumors flew. Was Beyonce hiding an affair? Sean Paul later hinted he wanted their relationship to grow, suggesting a deeper connection. But Beyonce allegedly kept her distance to avoid sparking tabloid frenzy. Even decades later, the whispers haven't died down. Insiders say the reason they didn't appear together was pressure from Beyonce's team. If fans saw chemistry, they might question her relationship with Jay-Z, a relationship that, by then, was quietly being built behind closed doors. There's also a theory that Jay-Z himself wasn't happy about the attention Sean Paul was receiving. Some claim he may have pulled strings behind the scenes to keep their interactions minimal. Whatever the truth, the missing performances from that era remain one of the strangest PR choices of Beyoncé's career. Could this be yet another example of careful image control by a team that didn't want the public to see too much? Legal moves and industry control. According to sources, Beyoncé may have sent legal threats behind the scenes. Jaguar says she won't be silenced. When she appeared on Piers Morgan and doubled down, saying Diddy and Jay-Z were monsters, the response was immediate. Piers apologized. Damage control began. This wasn't just an online spat. This was powerful people moving quickly. Some legal experts believe that if Jaguar's claims gain traction, it could open the door to class action suits from other victims in the industry. That would be a nightmare scenario for the big three. And as lawyers get involved, the question becomes, will truth come out in court or be buried with NDAs? Historically, powerful figures in entertainment have used legal teams like shields. Cease and desist letters, hush money, intimidation tactics, it's all part of the game. The legal moves themselves become a form of control. But what happens when those tactics stop working? What if this time, the public doesn't look away? There's also a public perception problem. Every time legal action is taken against someone exposing uncomfortable truths, it raises red flags. Are you defending your reputation, or are you trying to bury something deeper? For a long time, Beyoncé and Jay-Z seemed immune to that kind of scrutiny. But today, the internet is less forgiving, and the world is far more curious than ever before. A crumbling empire? Diddy is now facing lawsuits that read like crime novels. Everything from sex trafficking to kidnapping. And Jay-Z? Silent. Jaguar says this is the same script he's followed before. Get close, gain power, then walk away when things fall apart. If she's right, Diddy's fall could expose a network more powerful and more dangerous than anyone expected. And what about the people around them? Assistants, producers, former friends? Many of them are staying quiet. But silence can speak louder than words. The entire industry may be holding its breath. This could be the unraveling of an empire that seemed untouchable. Diddy's name, once associated with hip-hop royalty and luxury, is now linked with horrifying allegations. What happens if the floodgates open and others step forward with their own stories? Jay-Z's silence, too, is being closely watched. The longer he stays quiet, the more it fuels the narrative that he's trying to let Diddy take the fall alone. It paints a picture of someone playing chess while others play checkers. Calculating, watching, waiting. As Jaguar puts it, this isn't just a story about fallen stars. It's about who built the throne, who sits on it now, and what they're willing to do to keep their crown. Beyoncé. Innocent or insider? Beyoncé has always stayed out of mess, but now she's in the center. From witchcraft claims to secret deals and silent warnings, the spotlight's never been brighter. Jaguar says Beyoncé isn't just complicit, she's part of the system. Is she protecting her legacy or hiding something even darker? Her carefully curated image of a private, powerful woman is now being tested. And her silence? It may not be enough to stop what's coming. Some wonder, if the accusations keep piling up, will Beyoncé be forced to speak? Or will she continue to let the legal system do the talking? What if the woman the world sees as a flawless icon has spent decades participating in something more calculated, more manipulative, and far more coordinated than anyone could imagine? That's the question Jaguar Wright wants the world to ask. And as the cracks begin to show, Beyoncé stands at a crossroads. Either confront the narrative head-on or risk losing control of the story entirely.